Recently, I had tested a poll on YouTube that talked about whether or not you viewed money as opportunity or scarcity. 58% of you said that you are currently viewing money as a scarcity, and perhaps that could make you feel a little anxious. In this video, we are going to be talking about if you are feeling financially anxious, what you can do about it. I'm going to give you concrete action steps in this video to help you rein it all in and gain back control. Hey, what's up guys? It's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. Now we're talking about financial anxiety. We've all experienced this once or twice or maybe multiple times in our lives. This can really happen from a variety of factors. Maybe you moved into a new place that has a higher mortgage or a higher rent. Potentially you lost your job. Maybe you're introducing a new baby into the family and financially things are just getting more and more expensive. Whatever the cause may be, we've all felt that stress and financial anxiety that comes along with it. So one of the reasons why you might be feeling anxiety is that you are tracking your income and expenses in your head. Do not do that, because when you are just simply tracking things in your head, you forget about what bills to pay, what money is actually coming in, and putting a plan in place for your money. When you have your budget actually written down, whether that be a spreadsheet, a financial journal, or even a whiteboard that's slapped on your fridge, you actually make a plan for your finances. You can see what money is going to what expenses. You can more easily identify which bills to cut, and you have permission to spend freely on the things that you love. Now, if you want more control over this, you definitely need to check out my How to Control Your Spending workbook, which is over 50 pages of activities for you to download, print out, and complete on your own to help you gain that financial confidence that seems to be lacking right now. The next thing you can do if you are feeling anxious is to do a spend experiment. The way that I look at spending is there is intentional spending and autopilot spending. Autopilot spending is something like grabbing snacks from 7-Eleven on the way into work every single day. You just do it out of habit. Autopilot spending is forgetting to cancel auto-renewed subscriptions that you no longer use. Intentional spending means you are consciously making a choice to spend on the things that you absolutely love. Intentional spending also comes from purposely planning a happy hour with friends where you know you're going to be spending money, or purposely spending and saving for a vacation that you know is coming up in 3 months. Every time you go into autopilot spending, it derails you from achieving your financial goals. You know that you want to be debt free. You know you want to only be spending money on things that you truly love. So the experiment here that you can take home with you today is to try out and just be aware of autopilot spending and intentional spending for the next 5 days. If you can just commit to this Monday through Friday and figure out which spending is truly on autopilot and which ones are intentional, that is going to help you laser focus on the things that matter most to you and cut out the rest. Okay, we talked about the tracking of income and expenses, and we also talked about a spend experiment, but perhaps the anxiety is coming from just simply a lack of planning. So I have a couple of questions for you, and as I ask these questions, let me know if that stirs up any anxiety for you. If it does, I have some action steps that you can take to help reduce it. All right, the first question is, do you have a financial plan for emergencies? What is your financial plan for an emergency? If you do not have an emergency fund in place, I highly recommend that you start with at least 2 to 3 months of living expenses set aside in a separate savings account. And right now, high yield savings accounts are paying out a really good interest rate, so you'll want to take advantage of that and park cash over in that account so that you can use it and withdraw at any time that there is an emergency. After you get that build up to 2 to 3 months of living expenses, then you can work on a bigger financial goal for your emergency fund, which would be at least 6 months of living expenses set aside in a separate savings account. I have a whole video on this. If you want to check out more, I will link to that up here in the cards. Next question, are you following a specific plan to pay off your debt? No matter if you have credit card debt, student loans, car loans, personal loans, whatever it may be, do you have a plan in place to pay that off as quickly quickly as possible. If you're just kind of willy-nilly just thinking, oh, well, I'm just focusing on that credit card that has the highest interest rate and the highest outstanding balance because that one's really making me feel anxious, that's not really a plan. You're responding to that debt out of emotion instead of logic. We want to take a look at this logically and also really direct those emotions. So the best way that I paid off my debt was utilizing the debt snowball, which focuses on the lowest outstanding balance regardless of interest rate, and instead I'm going to be putting all my extra payment towards that lowest outstanding balance. What was cool about this is because it did play into my emotions, I was able to pay off that smallest outstanding balance and get that quick win. That quick win filled me with so much motivation and energy to say, yes, I absolutely can tackle the next one because that only took me 3 months to pay off the smallest outstanding balance. Now you can also flip this and do the debt avalanche method, which would be focusing on the highest interest rate. There are pros and cons to each. I have a video on whether or not you should do the snowball or the avalanche method, and I will link to that video up here for you to check out. Absolutely, you have to have a debt-free plan in place in order for you to rein in that anxiety and feel like I have a purpose and I have a plan with this goal of becoming debt-free. Question number 3, do you know if you are investing in the right accounts for retirement? Perhaps you have a 401k or something set up with your work that you're contributing to, but you're just kind of unsure of what the steps might be in order to put together a retirement plan. Again, I have another video for you to check out. I will link to that up here, which talks about the correct steps in order to save for retirement. This is based off of the book called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. You'll definitely want to pick up that book. I will link to the one on Amazon that you can purchase. This hands down was such a quick and easy read, and one that I refer back to over and over again because it gives you the order of priority in which to invest in your retirement accounts. And you'll definitely want to start with any type of retirement plan that is associated with your employer that also offers a company match. Please take advantage of that match. If you don't do anything else, this would be your first step. And then you can take a look at that book or take a look at my video that breaks down all of those steps so that you have a plan in place for your retirement. And the last question that I have for you is, do you have savings accounts set in place for the things that you love, things that you want to achieve in your lifetime, whether that be getting a replacement car, maybe you're saving up for a new baby. Yes, you can save up for a new baby, believe it or not. Maybe it's a wedding or a down payment. I find when that you are saving for these large purchases and these life milestones, it makes so much sense to have separate savings accounts for each. I think when you have separate savings accounts, it helps you refrain from taking that money out and using it for something else. It puts a label on it. You can see the actual amount and you can better calculate exactly how much money you should be putting into those accounts every single month in order to hit your financial goal. Now, these are what I like to call sinking funds. If you know roughly that you want a Jeep Grand Cherokee, like I do, then you know roughly that they are pretty pricey vehicles and you're going to be spending at least minimum 40 grand on a relatively nice Jeep Grand Cherokee. If I know that a Jeep Grand Cherokee costs 40 grand and I'm looking to replace my car in 3 years, all I need to do is the simple math of dividing out $40,000 into 36 months and finding that monthly contribution amount. By the way, if I was to do that, then I would need to be setting aside at least $1,100 every single month into a separate savings account in order to buy that Jeep Grand Cherokee at a $40K price tag in the next 36 months. This is a very easy way to break down any savings goal that you might have. Maybe you want to take a trip to Disney World. Calculate that out. Look at the price of tickets. By the way, Disney World tickets are $150 plus any extras that you might want to have along with that. Hotel, transportation, airfare. You want to go to one of the nicest restaurants in the park. You want to get Disney gear, merch. All of that needs to be factored into your vacation. You can roughly estimate that and then start setting aside monthly contributions into a separate savings account. Now, I have a whole video on sinking funds. If you want to check that out, I will link to that up here in the cards. All that was to point you in the right direction of just sourcing where this financial anxiety is coming from. But perhaps the financial anxiety is coming from just the way the world is right now and what the economy is doing due to the pandemic, due to supply chain issues, all of these things that are pointing to maybe are we going to be in a recession soon. Who knows? What I find is I can't control what the economy does. I can't control what our government does in terms of responding to this type of inflation. What I can control is my budget. I can control my spending, my savings, my budget, and my financial goals. I can shift things around if I need to, such as I'm saving $1,000 for a down payment every single month. If I find that inflation right now is just dramatically increasing our grocery budget, or we've got other immediate needs that I need to address, okay, I'm going to pause that down payment of $1,000 a month. Instead, I'm going to redirect that $1,000 into my immediate needs. My basic immediate needs, which would be my rent, my food, utilities, any car related expenses. All of that needs to go, my internet, my cell phone, all of that needs to be shifted so I can cover those basic living needs first. That absolutely takes priority over extra money towards a down payment. Then once I have those things in place, then I can start shifting money back into my financial goals. So take a look at that for yourself. I wonder, in the comments below, let me know what's the source of financial stress for you right now. If you're feeling this, you are not alone. I have felt this financial stress, especially with running my own business. There's a lot of pressure that I put on myself to bring in consistent revenue every single month and continuing to move the bar. I think that is one of the drawbacks of being a type A personality and an overachiever, where you want to keep achieving success, that you kind of forget to just enjoy the here and now and make sure that everything is okay. We have a plan. We have a backup plan if the original plan doesn't work out. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my How to Control Your Spending workbook, which can help you gain back that financial confidence and less stress so that you can spend on things that you truly love and cut out the rest. That is linked below in the description box, and I'll catch you in the next one.